The Witcher sword. Yes, a real, sharp, battle-ready Witcher sword replica from SWORDIER. And this thing is actually incredible. The weight balance is amazing. The fit and finish shocked us. For a video game replica sword, this is easily as real and functional as any historical replica that you can buy on the market. And we cannot wait to really put it to the test. We are going to test its durability, how well it cuts in this review, but from initial inspection, oh boy, this sword is brilliant.
Shadowverse.
Greetings, I am Tyranth.
And I'm Shad.
And today we're taking a look at another, I would say, pop culture replica, battle-ready replica from SWORDIER.
Yes, I was going to say, like, is it right to just call these a replica? But battle-ready replica, that kind of, describes what it is, but...
Because they're real swords in every single capacity,
yes.
Except they look like the inspiration and the design has obviously come from pop culture or games or whatever the subject matter is.
But we should mention, like, having, when I say battle ready, I'm talking about, it's not just sharp, made out of strong steel. Its refinement and balance is specifically designed to be a functional sword.
Yes, it's a real sword.
It is a real sword. And I have not seen replicas like this ever before really SWORDIER started doing it. Like as functional as this.
I think there are a couple.
Except if they were custom made. I saw some custom made ones.
This is sharp.
Yeah, it's sharp.
Mine wasn't.
Sucks to be you.
So this one here is obviously the Witcher's silver sword. Now, it's not exact one-to-one.
I thought the other one was the silver one.
No, this is the silver one.
I get it mixed up.
There's a little bit of context here because obviously in the game, now I'm not the biggest, so much caveats here. In the Witcher games, you can like upgrade the sword and do different pommels.
This is like the base common,
So this
design.
is like, I would consider to be their simplistic interpretation of the Witcher sword. Obviously, you have that very, very unique, I would say,
distinctive
crossguard, which I love, super into. So
okay, hang on, pause, because I suspected Tyranth liked this one more than me because
it's on Titan's Bane.
I actually am not a fan of this style of crossguard. It sweeps up too much for me.
It's a little bit aggressive, but that's why I put it on Titan's Bane, and I don't necessarily have it on my regular swords.
I'm not going to let that affect my score rating because that's personal preference.
Well, not only, it's functional. Like
it is functional.
There's nothing about it except personal preference.
But I'm still not a fan of it. Sorry.
Whatever.
I like the other Witcher sword.
Sure, okay. That's fine.
That one's really nice in terms of aesthetic design.
That's fine. This one here comes in at around about $410.
All right, so that is a bit more expensive than their other battle-ready replicas.
Yes and no, because they do have a couple of replicas, like they have the Bullhorn Orchrist, which is like $600 or whatever.
Yeah.
So they do have some more expensive ones, but this is kind of one of the more pricier ones, which I think is justified because obviously we'll be throwing up the B-roll. The wrap and the finishing and kind of like the overall quality of this one is higher than the Glamdring, the Anvil,
honestly,
all of them.
This is probably the best quality battle-ready replica SWORDIER has made so far that we have received and reviewed. And we've looked at Glamdring, Anduril, what are Lord of the Rings ones? Was there any non-Lord of the Rings ones that we've looked at?
I don't think so.
Okay, well this is the first non-Lord of the Rings one. But dang, like when Tyranth is mentioning how tight and precise this wrap is, it's flawless. It is flawless, and that's hard to pull off with this central metal riser right here. But it is solid. It is connected. It is strong, and then the pattern design on the pommel that's inserted, and sometimes that's hard to pull off.
I think that's just cast.
Yeah,
the reason why we bring this up is because obviously there was nothing wrong with any of them, except for maybe the Anduril, a couple of issues with that.
Anduril was a bit.
But in terms of the fit and finish of a lot of the other replicas, they have not been bad at all. It's just this one is a lot more refined. Like there were some areas, I know we haven't really taken a look at the Dark Sister yet, but the Dark Sister has like a bunch of sharp burrs that are annoying as hell. Stuff like that, where it's like little finishing issues.
That's why I was getting confused, because we have received House of the Dragon, but we haven't reviewed it yet.
This one, they finished it perfectly fine. Yeah. It doesn't have the plastic handle. It has a leather stitched handle. The risers are good. Transitions to the pommel.
With a texture actually put into the leather.
And then the blade itself, like they've done really well.
And not only that, then we come to the weight. This is like, I could easily use this one hand, big long sword like this, and then
so
when you
good.
get it in two, it's like, what the heck is going on? Because we have had several swords very recently that when we've just picked it up, the weight balance has just been perfect. And that has usually been one of the hardest things that swords have tried to execute properly throughout the history of sword, selling, market,
Well, I would even
manufacturing.
directly compare it to one of their other long swords.
Look, I can hold it at the pommel, man.
It's good. It's because it has a nice,
what is going
it has somewhat of a
on?
distal taper. It's not a huge one. Somewhat of a distal taper and a beautiful profile taper. Like half swording with this is just gorgeous,
my gosh.
right?
Like, it's slender, it's fine.
So this one here, I think is like and the funny thing is, I'm not even the biggest Witcher fan, but this sword is just like a legit, really good replica sword.
Honestly, like,
Battle ready replica sword.
if you didn't even care about The Witcher and you wanted
It's a good
top
sword,
tier, maneuverable, functional, well executed, built sword, this is amongst the top that you could pick from, separate from it being a pop culture replica,
Yeah.
which is wild to me.
Yeah. Let's cut with it.
I
'cause
can't
they
wait.
are nice and sharp.
And in case you're wondering, yes, we do have an affiliate link to this sword and all other Swordier swords in the description below. Let's get to cut. I can't wait. So we're actually reviewing multiple swords today, and I've just moved from one of the other ones, which was a brilliant sword. But going from that weight to this, damn.
It's so good.
This just steps it up again. Like I can use, look at this, ready? First cut. I didn't put a lot of weight in it, but let me, you shouldn't be able to do it that easy with a sword. But, oh, interesting. Okay, there was a bit of filleting on that. So let me just go. I mean, it is good. The weight is better, but it's not cutting better than the last one.
Yeah, I think it's the profile that they put on it. So with this type of blade geometry, it's more of a thrust-centric blade than a slash-centric blade, right? This is something that I would half sword with to get through armor. Gorgeous tip on it. It has that nice diamond cross-section, but that also means that in cut, it's not necessarily going to be the best slicer.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's cutting very
fine.
well.
It's fine, yeah.
Not the best, but very, very well. There's no hope for this one. I'll try it. Hardest cut, reverse edge, horizontal, just straight. So, reverse, like on an angle, that's fine. But flat horizontal, didn't even dig in.
I mean, if you didn't do it with the other sword, you're not going to be able to do it.
I know, this one is like... But in terms of reverse edge, angular, yeah, not a problem. I love seeing the medieval aesthetic and weapons adapted into fantasy, especially video games. And there is a more recent video game with some surprisingly decent looking weapons and armor, and that is Crimson Desert. To just dive into it myself and play, but how good are some of these kind of medieval elements that they are adding into? Well, Tyranth and I take a look at that in this week's exclusive video. Looking for and reacting to some of the more accurate medieval things that appear, whether it be castles, swords, weapons, armor, shields, and also looking at some of the fantasy things that appear. It's a lot of fun, and you get access to this exclusive video for just $1 a month. Like, really, that's only $12 in a year. And you might think it's not much, but that is what is saving us. So please do help out if you can. $1 through Patreon, Subscribestar, or channel memberships saves this channel, helps us keep going, and thank you to everyone who is supporting us. So now let's get back to the main video. Twisted on that one, that was me. I go down and come in. There we go.
Out of 10 for cutting?
7.
Okay, I'll make it more interesting. Out of 10 for handling?
10.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. 10 out of 10 handling, 7 out of 10 cutting.
But I think it's important, like I mentioned before, what I would use this blade for. Don't get me wrong, cutting with it is great and all, but getting in with armor for this is... See, this side is a little bit blunt now because Shad's been cutting with it, so I'm gonna go over to this side.
Excuses.
Oh. There's just no way. You can tell by how it sounds.
Yeah.
It sounds like hitting a pillow.
Yeah, we haven't done it with any swords.
Well,
so.
I reckon we're going to be able to do it with the Tachi. That's why I think it's going to be
Really?
interesting.
That sword has a ring. A
beautiful,
really
isn't it?
nice ring.
But yeah, it's good. It's not bad at all.
I mean, it's one of the top tier swords we've actually reviewed, and it's a pop culture replica.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Testing the flex on the Witcher blade. See, it's a lot more flexible. But
Wow.
again, not in a bad way. This isn't like the Andrel. The Andrel
yeah.
was ridiculous. This is well within tolerance. It's just a little bit more flexy than some of their other swords.
Yeah.
All right, against the wood.
How was it?
Similar.
Similar, really.
Wasn't as bad though.
You know, this is starting to be a bit of a feature with Swordier swords. A lot of Swordier swords aren't the nicest with vibration.
Yeah, and I think it is a direct trade-off when you have such a nice refined handle. It's kind of what you get,
Their handles are usually a bit thinner because they're 3D printed.
which I like.
I like that too.
I like that a lot.
But the trade-off is that... Hang on. There's one cut. Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
It's
I
not as
felt worse, but that wasn't nice.
But again, the handle on this one, super refined.
Yeah.
So that's a trade-off that I'm definitely willing to take.
This is tricky, right? I'm becoming more reluctant to, I guess, downgrade swords ratings based on the vibration in this test.
Well, this test here is the most brutal kind of test you can do for this.
Yeah.
This isn't like a tree. Cutting a tree isn't much nicer. This is terrible.
This is
It's made
dried
to be.
out wood. The main test of this is to test durability of the tang, the hilt. We're not seeing any loosening.
Yeah.
The fact that it was uncomfortable, I mean, you're rarely ever going to hit that type of abuse in normal sword use.
Usually the most comfortable swords on this sort of test have been like the big, thick, wide arming swords.
Yeah.
And I think it's because the blades take a lot of that.
Well,
with these more refined geometries,
yeah,
that's
'cause
kind of what you get.
You're right. Like shorter blades handle vibration a lot better, and maybe it's just because the length the vibration needs to travel is different,
Yeah.
and just very different dynamics overall.
And I think some of the blades that do have more refined geometries that have done well in this test have been ones that have bent at the tang.
Interesting.
So these aren't bending, they're
No,
perfectly
they're
fine.
solid as hell.
So-
Actually. Oh, hang on.
No, don't do that to that crossguard. That's a cool crossguard. How can you tell though?
I know, right? Actually, is that? I can't tell. Is it? I think it's been.
I think a little bit, yeah.
little bit.
Yeah, look, let's make it even. See, there we go.
Why are you reluctant about this one and not the other one?
This is a cool crossguard. Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. You know what I want to do?
You want to straighten it out. Oh, disgusting. All right, let's smash it.
Steel time.
Witcher blade.
Oh,
That did not feel as bad,
yeah.
either of those.
And it bent less.
And it did bloody barely any edge deformation.
Wow. Wow! That's some of the best we've got from SWORDIER.
That's rather impressive.
They've upped their game. Okay. Interesting. That is top tier durability.
It is.
That is up there with the very best. Okay. This sword really impressed me.
Yeah.
I like it better after having reviewed it than from going into it.
Yeah.
And I already had a pretty positive opinion of it.
Well, see, the thing is, right, I'm not like the biggest fan of the Witcher games and stuff. So the sword is not necessarily my favorite, but it's just a damn good sword,
Like,
just in general.
If you separating it from The Witcher, this is one of the nicest handling swords we have reviewed.
Yeah. It feels good in the hand. The edge and geometry, like for cutting, isn't the best in the world, but
it's a trade-off for the thrusting ability and its balance. So that's not a flaw in design. We're not going to mark it down for that. It was still really, really good at cutting. And look at this profile taper and point. And it was damn tough.
yeah.
Some of the best durability we've seen, which, my gosh, Tyranth, this puts this sword in the realm of a 10 out of 10 sword.
Yeah, I mean, like there's no edge damage here.
Like, look at that. It's
Like that's still kind of sharp.
yeah, like there's basically no damage from that. That is remarkable, and it's a video game replica.
Yeah.
Like it was a little uncomfortable in the vibration, but I don't think that's a flaw of the design. Are you done with it? Have you straightened it again?
Yes.
You're bending it really, and I'm like,
Well, because it's spring steel. It's springy, but look,
it's usable again,
mostly fine.
apart from the crossguard.
Yeah.
I still don't like the crossguard, but I can't mark it down because it's smooth, it's well executed.
Yes.
I think this is 10 out of 10.
Yes.
It is our second 10 out of 10 sword, man. SWORDIER, what are you doing?
And I think it speaks volumes that, like we said a couple of times, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of like, the frame. It's not like I'm like a super fanboy where I'm like, no, it's a Witcher, so it has to be 10. I was like, no, I just think it's a really well executed sword.
Yeah, pretend I never saw The Witcher, didn't know where it was from, and I was sent as a sword for review. I'll be like,
It's just a nice sword.
that's an interesting crossguard, but damn, it's a good sword.
Edge held up perfectly fine. The warp I just quickly fixed because it actually wasn't that bad to begin with. Hardened crossguards, I want them. They're something that I'm starting to get
Look at the peen block.
It's really nice.
That is a gorgeous peen block.
The fit and finish hasn't started rattling. The tapering of the handle and everything is just so good.
It's flawless.
I think this is a really solid just sword. In
10
general.
out of 10 for a video game pop culture replica battle ready sword. I can't believe that. I mean, and like, it shows that SWORDIER actually, they're trying to improve their quality. Even with everything that they're making. So we've reviewed a lot of their Lord of the Rings swords. They recalled all of them to retest
They didn't recall them.
Oh, I mean, they pulled them from the website.
So that they could work on the new ones, so people weren't buying the old versions, and now they've put up the new versions.
Now I want the new versions because if they're pulling something like this out of the hat,
Yeah.
damn.
But yeah, if this is your jam, go for it. It's good.
I mean,
It's a touch more expensive than some of their other ones.
It is.
Like 410, but
for a 10 out of 10 sword like
they
this,
upped the quality. So
they really did. Guys, if you want to see the only other 10 out of 10 sword we've ever reviewed, link right there. This is like the fact that we got another 10 out of 10 so recently is just making me thrilled for what we can get nowadays.
Well, one thing that I want to bring up is when we got these, we got sent a couple, right? The quality between them all is also almost identical to every single one. Because some swords we have gotten like a bit of variance in it. So much so Shad's like, I want this one. And I go, I want this one. So this one is like,
Between the two,
they're all the same.
like you can't tell the difference.
Yeah. So I like that as well.
So guys, big recommendation. We have an affiliate link for this sword if you're interested in it. Witcher, sword. Is it the silver sword? I can't remember, but it's really awesome, this sword. And if you want to check out our other 10 out of 10 review, right there. Appreciate you guys.
Have a good one.
See you.